Okay, now, while I was waiting for this thing to download, just a few minutes, took it forever. I come over here and I cleaned up my workstation. Now, I built this, and I put bolts down to hold it, and got that. And then this I found, and I cleaned it up, sand it down, and paint it. Probably chip right off after I start using it. But I thought I'd clean it up, paint it, sand it down. Got my vise here. So when I start tearing apart the engine tomorrow, I'll put my bolts down, and I'll label them. So I got my marker, I got my tape, and then that way I want to clean the bolts and can put them down and sort them out, and then they'll be ready. Okay, here we are with the plastic, the oil pan. I got all the bolts tightened here, and I tightened everything down to about 45 pounds of torque. So the 4 bolts that are holding this on, and the one that goes into the shaft. So when I turn the engine over, connect everything up, I have to make sure the oil pump's working, and I think it works off the distributor, so I'll have to work with that to figure it out. Like I said, I found no videos on this. Right now I'm going to try to turn this engine and hope it don't fall on my foot. I usually wear steel-toed shoes when I do this. But I went ahead and did a lot, because like I say, filming this and trying to get it down, it takes forever. Now I got to figure out what to do with the little, oh here it is, down here, okay. Here we go. So I can only shoot this a little bit at a time. Is that showing the engine? I don't know if it can stand up. Okay, we got to turn the engine over. Hopefully I don't get all greasy and gooky. Alright. Got to pull the pin out. Now I won't put the intake and the head on until I have it out. Get this part will be put in the van first, and then I'll mount that to it. But before I do, I'm going to line everything up, make sure everything goes together, take it back apart, and when I put it in the engine, back in the van, I'll know that everything's going to go together good. I don't want too much weight on this press right now, on this engine hoist, your engine stand. Now, all this works. It's a pain to move. It's trying to move a block, and it's got a lot of weight to it. So yeah, gotta roll it here. I left the bar in, that way it can't slide forward until I put the pin back in. So you leave the bar in as a precaution. Watch it here. It's adjusting itself because the bolts I have for it aren't the right bolts. Okay. Well, let's see here. Affleck. Here we go. Now we put that pin back in. Might have to work with the block a little bit. Not too far. Okay. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, went forward on me. Alright. It's the weight of the engine. You gotta get that pin in there for safety reasons. Now, this. There it goes. Alright, pin's in, and the handle's still there. I didn't get too greasy. Alright. Now, wipe my hands out here. Alright. Now, what I'm saying is, when I was turning it, I left the handle in here so this doesn't slide out, and then the pin goes back in. Now these are the bolts. They're a little bit too long, and these ones here, I tried to find some. It's difficult. I don't know. They don't make anything easy. So the gaskets are already put on. So we got to mount the oil pan. These are the lifter rods. And the lifters are here. Now the lifters themselves have rollers that when the cam goes, they roll. So you had to put down these little, you can't tell what they are, but they're little X's, and they hold the lifters in place. Those have to be put down. This has to go back down. All of these have been cleaned and torqued down to 25 pounds or so of pressure. The heads have been all torqued down. So here's our gasket. This was put on when the engine was up this way, of course. It's better to put the gaskets on. The water pump is where our distributor will go. But I think that, by putting this on there and leaving it on, it's just too much weight. This whole thing weighs a ton, and I don't want all that weight sitting on the block, because that right there weighs a lot itself. So the bolts for that I got separated up here. I believe these are the bolts that you mount your intake down to this. But from the time we get that set up, get the oil pump put on, then we want to go ahead and turn the engine, make sure everything's getting lubed up. And I gotta put the distributor in there, then we'll have to look for the compression from the first plug, which is, when the heck does the spark plugs go in this thing at? That's weird. Okay, there it is. No, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. That's just plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Now all this was taken down, sanded down, and painted. The whole block with Krylon paint. So it should look pretty good. And that'll take care of that. And I can see where I missed some spots on the... Here you can see where I went a little over on the paint too. Like I said, I'll be in the engine, so who's going to care? But that's the top part. We can touch this up before we put it in. And this here hasn't gotten anything to it either. So I can probably paint this red. And then that's the gray part of the engine, but who's going to care? Like, you won't even see that anyway. It'll be down in the engine. But, you know, hopefully it stops some of the rust. So, okay. Now, this is the oil pump down here in the pan. So we're going to go ahead and we got some oil. We're going to prime it. Then we got to figure out what I did with the bolts to it. And the bolts aren't up in there, are they? Of course not. I don't put them back where I wanted them. Nope. And did I put them in the oil pan? Oh, probably not. I do stupid things. Oh, great. Oh, okay. It's all right there. There they are. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to set the phone down. But what we're going to do is we're going to put oil down in this tube. And then we'll put this up so it goes up in here. The shaft is going to go up here, so we won't see it when I mount it. And I'll show you what it looks like when we get it mounted. There's your underneath. Then I got the oil in here, so it's warmed up. We'll get the pan put on. We got to put on the enforced rails. Right here, reinforced rails. These will have to go on. So it's going to take a bit of a process. But after I get it up together, I'll let you see it. So let me get started here, and then we'll come back to it.